Ready for one of our legendary real estate cases? This is huge. The company only had 5 employees and wanted to file an L-1A extension. They themselves were the manager, so they were only managing 4 people in the US. This is a property management company. Salaries were not that high. How do you win an L-1A case? The brief from the client was very simple. They came to us, they said, maximize the chance of this case being success. I don't care how much it costs. Double down and triple down. We have a lot of other executives that need to do this and need to come over from our parent company. We need to build this into our HR system. So do your absolute best to build the perfect case. It doesn't matter what it costs. Go. Let me show you how we did it. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Zhang Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So we acted as the HR immigration department for this asset management company. We wanted to create the perfect L1 filing so that they can have it internally and they can continue to use over and over again. They didn't want to continuously spend immigration fees year after year for every single case that they filed. They wanted us to teach their department, teach them how to do it, and do one really, really good one because they've hired other people before. Some were not successful, some failed, and they know that they have a very difficult case because in the US, they just have 4 to 5 employees. It's quite small, but they want to continuously bring other executives over. This was a really difficult case. No matter who you talk to, it's really hard to say this case will be approved, let alone continuously used as a sample to hire other L-1A executives over and over again. And so the solution and strategy that we offered was instead of doing this as an L-1A case, we offered to do it as 2 EB-1C cases with 3 or 4 H-1B cases underneath as one case. Now, what does that mean to you realistically? It just means we spent the enormous amount of effort to prove the US executive part, to prove the Asia executive part, and to prove each one of those employees were essentially a specialty worker. It was such a big case, thousands of pages long for an L1. Now, normally our L1s are already longer, but we treated it like that kind of a big case. Now, let's talk about the most difficult thing. How do you prove you're an executive when you only have 4 low-paying employees for a real estate management company? Everybody knows real estate companies, right? Renters pay fee. Your job is to collect the fees, deposit it, prepare an invoice for the renters, for the investors. If something breaks, you have to hire somebody on Yelp to go fix it. How difficult can it really be? So the first thing is we really had to explain this is so much more than just that. They had to scout out properties to buy, negotiate for a good price, create it into a profile and pitch it to investors so investors can fund it. And after funding it, they have to quickly transform the property that they purchased into a livable situation for renters, market it to renters, and then start collecting rent. The actual process of collecting rent and depositing it, that's just one small sliver of what this company does. They had to buy hotels, motels, apartments, vacant lands, buildings. There's so many things that they were doing. Yes, there were only 4 employees, but underneath them, there were 12 other contractors. I'm talking about huge companies. Each company, they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of them, they were paying like $500,000. There were like zoning attorneys that were trying to rezone entire areas. There were so many vendors and contractors that's underneath this one small company that each employee, we proved that they were practically executives. So our client was the top dog, the general manager, 4 employees that we proved they were all specialty workers. They're not actually on H-1B, but we proved their credentials, their knowledge, their job duty, and on top of that, overseas, there were hundreds of other agents that they had to communicate with to sell these proposals to. And if investors didn't like a certain thing, they had to tweak it, they had to buy a different property, they had to combine different properties together. There were so many things that they were doing. I was floored by how much these employees were working. They were easily pulling 80-hour weeks, but instead of just normal compensation, they also get a share in these properties that they were purchasing. So the stock benefits were huge. So we were trying to explain all of this to USCIS. We prepared the case, it was filed, case was approved, the client was extremely happy. Now they have this perfect application that they could reuse again and again and again, and they could save on so much legal fees. This one-time upfront cost, we were able to build out this bridge, and now for the next decade, they were able to bring in so many people to manage this real estate empire. You have no idea how happy when the case was approved. We had a big celebration here. They said they have asked so many different law firms to try to do this for them, and just nobody was willing to do it. We're happy to do this because we've been doing it for other law firms and for other companies for like the past 20 years. And especially the brief was so interesting. Build out a super case for a very difficult case that they could reuse. Each case is a work of art. We create it, we strategize it with its own unique problems, with its unique briefs, we prepare it, we serve it, and it's done. It's like a Michelin star restaurant. You don't expect to serve this one thing for the person to be full for the next 2 weeks, right? It's okay if it's a one-time thing every few years. We love doing this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Take care. Bye-bye.